Hey everyone, Reverend Sarah Grady from St. Paul's United Church in Paris. It's Tuesday, I'm checking in, and today I want you to think about food. I'm thinking about food because it's about 12:30 and I'm getting pretty hungry here, waiting to go and have my lunch break. But I'm also wanting you to think about that this week because it's part of what our chapter in our book was talking about. And I got thinking about the month of October, which is really characterized with food and food themes throughout our Sunday worship services. We kick off the 1st of October always with Worldwide Communion. And so the idea of sharing a meal was on that Sunday. The next Sunday was celebrating Thanksgiving weekend. And then we have in the month of October also World Food Sunday itself. And then we also have the acknowledgement of our farmers who are working hard to put away crops for the season and doing the last of their harvests. And we've got Halloween, normally characterized by eating so much candy we want to be sick. So there are lots of ways that we celebrate food in the month of October and lift that up. And I got thinking about celebrations of with food that we've been missing in this time of pandemic. We've missed Easter. For lots of people, they still miss Thanksgiving together. There's been anniversaries and birthdays. There's been weddings that have had to be rearranged, scaled down, canceled. All these times when we are connected by food, and we're missing out on that. Even just this past Sunday, we celebrated a 180-year anniversary for St. Paul's United Church, and what an amazing and wonderful thing. But we couldn't have cake afterwards. I miss the cake and the sandwiches and the coffee and tea and that time of connecting, because in the service, we're not necessarily sitting in close proximity to one another, and definitely not right now. But we get that time afterwards to chat and laugh and to joyfully share in some stories from our week, or maybe it's an opportunity to engage in some pastoral care with somebody, and not just me, but somebody else might be having a pastoral conversation. Food is a really deep connector. And directly following our Sunday worship service this past week, we also had a time of remembering and lifting up the life of Harold Hallett, whose life was characterized by his love of food and his way that he was a founding member of the Paris Agricultural Society. And so we were thinking about food when we were talking about Harold. And, you know, when we gather to celebrate a life, it's another time that we're missing having those moments of refreshment afterwards, time to continue to share in stories and connect with one another. Directly following that service, I drove all the way to Toronto to preach at my brother Ted's covenanting service at Runnymede United Church, where he started as their lead minister back in September. And after that service, it was a special service of worship for the community. There would have been cake there too, so I missed out on 2 cakes on Sunday. I didn't make up for it, don't worry. But I got thinking a lot about the meals that we have been missing and the ways that we share in a meal around the table. Food is such a deep connector for people. It can also be a source of worry, of fear, of concern. I think lots of people have had that during this time. These last 7 months, food scarcity is a real thing, and it exists here in Paris and all around our world. There are lots of people who do worry where their next meal will come from. And we saw lots of hoarding happening right back at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm sure you remember going into a grocery store, if you were one of the people who could go out to one, and seeing empty shelves of pasta and pasta sauces and canned foods and frozen foods and meats and stuff like that. People were just worried that there wouldn't be enough, and so they were taking too much and hoarding. And it's still happening as we go through waves up and down of this time of pandemic. And so I got thinking about the meals and the meals that we're missing and the time around a table that we're missing in lots of different ways these last 7 months. And I wonder who you're missing sharing a meal with. Or have you had an opportunity to maybe do a socially distanced or invite somebody into your bubble meal? And what did you have? You know, the first time I was able to gather outdoors with my family, one of our favorite meals and one of our traditional meals has always been a turkey dinner. My mom and dad do them so well. And so it was June sometime, and we still had a turkey dinner because that's what we finally got to do in an outdoor setting where we could all be together. A question that is asked this week is, what's your favorite meal and what do you like most about it? What special meaning does that meal have for you? And I wonder, for those of you who've been missing time around a table with family or friends, if you're able to gather with them again, or if you're thinking about when you could gather with them again, what would be the meal that you would share with them? And I love this idea of thinking about gathering around a table. Who would you invite to that table when you can, or if you can? And that's a really good question for us to think about in terms of our life following Jesus, because Jesus's life was characterized by sitting around a table. It's the thing he did so often and so well. And, even up to the last night that he was alive, it was important to him to share in a last meal, the Last Supper, as we refer to it, with his friends. He gathered them all in that upper room, and he offered that meal that we still celebrate and lift up to this day in our Christian tradition when we celebrate communion. So, food is the topic of the week. Think about it. Think about how you celebrate with food, the things that you're missing about celebrating with food. What food is your favorite meal? Who you're going to celebrate that, favorite meal with the moment that you can, and let us know. Comment in our comment section below on our Facebook post or on our YouTube channel. Send me or the main office an email and check in and let us know how you're doing and what ways we can help to feed you. Whether that's spiritually or we do have an offering of food if you need to. So just get in touch with us. If you're somebody who is feeling like there is a scarcity of food for you, let us know. I am grateful for all of the continued engagement and support that we have here, and for me and my ministry at St. Paul's. Continue to reach out, let us know how we can help you and what the things you might need prayer for are, and I hope to see you as soon as possible. Join us on Sunday worship now that we're back in person, or continue to check us out online in the coming weeks, friends. Take care.